Hi, I'm the Beauty Professor, and you can find my beauty blog at www.beautyprofessor.net. So for the last couple of weeks, I've been on a road trip exploring many of the western states in America, and it was a beautiful getaway to see so much natural splendor, but I will say I was far away from any kind of makeup retail outlets. So on our last day back into California, we stopped in Las Vegas for a few hours for a meal, and I was able to swing by the Sephora at the Venetian to take a peek at this new Marc Jacobs Beauty line. And honestly, I wasn't certain how much I would be enchanted by, but I did end up leaving Sephora with quite a few items that I'm going to be profiling today for you in this video. So from a price point perspective, I will say that the Marc Jacobs line feels relatively reasonably priced. While it's not inexpensive, I wouldn't say it's as exorbitant as, say, another designer's line like the Tom Ford Beauty line, which I absolutely love and feel there are many items that are worthy of the investment. But I was surprised by how relatively inexpensive in contrast to Tom Ford the Marc Jacobs line is. I think that makes it more accessible to people, and when you couple that reasonable price point with the apparent quality that I've experienced thus far, it's a rather exciting addition to Sephora. When selecting products from the line to purchase, I considered the items that I wear on a regular basis. And one thing that I went without purchasing was the eyeshadow palettes. And those were something I've been seeing posted on Instagram and certainly on blog posts. They're absolutely beautiful, but I'm just not much of an eyeshadow palette. I like a single wash of color, and I just felt like getting a quad or a palette would be essentially a waste for my purposes. I started by, of course, going right up to the foundation. And this foundation is a gel foundation. I was really pleased to note that there was a vast spectrum of shades. I didn't get a chance to swatch all of them as I would have hoped, but time was not on my side. I picked up this Genius Gel Foundation in number 32, which is Beige Light. And by all accounts and purposes, I'm finding that this is a very sheer foundation. And that's okay because I don't mind going for a sheerer effect from time to time. Certainly, I tend to prefer medium to medium full coverage, but my skin, I've been really focusing on serious committed skincare, chiefly right now from the Kanivo Sensei line, as well as coupling that with some red light treatments from the Quasar MD Plus red light. I just did a review on this on my blog. And so I'm finding that maybe my skin is not requiring the same level of coverage as I've preferred in the past, and I'm really thankful for that. That being stated, here's a swatch of the foundation. Now, certainly my hand is a little bit tanner than what I would require on my face. I'm finding that this is a perfect match on my skin, and it is buildable. So texturally speaking, it blends into the skin very easily. It's not overtly emollient or dry. It doesn't dry to a powder finish, more of a maybe demi-matte finish. Here you can see it there. It's basically disappeared into my hand, and part of that is due to its sheerness. The bottle itself is beautiful, kind of a frosted glass with a pump dispenser, and I would never dream of tossing this into my makeup bag. I'd probably decant some into a small sample pot if I wanted to have it with me for touch-ups, but it is beautiful to set on the dresser. In terms of wear time, I did a couple of test runs with this foundation while I was at home once I returned, and I found that I get a good 4 to 6 hours of wear without need for any kind of major touch-ups. I did set it with some powder. In this case, I tried the Marc Jacobs foundation powder. I'll be talking about that in just a moment. But I found that it did require kind of a powder set for me, and that it stayed looking like pretty perfected natural skin for the duration of the wear. I haven't worn it in an inordinate amount of time, so I can't speak to its long-term performance, but for the time being, I'm happy to have integrated it into my foundation rotation. That naturally leads me to the Marc Jacobs Perfection Powder, which is the next thing I'll discuss. And I would like to note the packaging on this. The Marc Jacobs packaging is definitely extensive. So it comes in this nice envelope type sheath. It's got two pockets, one for the powder sponge, which I have not yet used, obviously, and then the larger pocket for the compact itself. And this compact does have some heft. It's got the signature Marc Jacobs kind of button right here, an extremely generous mirror, wow, and then the powder itself, which I also selected in 300 beige. So the beige seems to be the right match for my NC25 most of the time skin. And I am wearing this powder right now. So I can attest to the fact that texturally speaking, this powder is extremely sheer. I think that the Title foundation powder is a bit of a misnomer in this case. It's not full coverage enough to act as a foundation for anyone who's looking for legitimate coverage, but it is beautiful as a finishing powder. And so I just use a fluffy brush to buff it all over my face, and I found that it gives a nice glowy finish even though it's also mattifying. So you can see that it catches light. I don't have any form of highlighter on my face whatsoever, just the powder over foundation. It catches light, but it also mattifies. It removes any unwanted oiliness, if you will. So is it worth it if you have other powders you love? Maybe not, but me being a base, a foundation, a powder fiend, I'm happy to have this in my collection, and I do appreciate the match. I'll see if I can swatch this in a way that will show up for you. Okay, this isn't bad. There it is right there. The beige 300 is appropriate for NC 23, maybe to 27 skin tones. I did not find that it oxidized in any way, shape, or form over the time that I've worn it. And it doesn't get uncomfortable or excessively oily as the time wears on. So that's great. Also, one more thing. This is consistent with all of the Marc Jacobs Beauty products. At least at the start, they all have this beautiful kind of striated texture on top that certainly will go away as the more that you use the product. But for the time being, we can capture that because they're still relatively new to me. The next item that I selected was the Marc Jacobs Shameless Bold Blush, and I purchased it in shade number 204, which is Obsessed. This also comes in a very elaborate little sheath, similar to the powder. It does have a small blush brush that I have yet to release from its packaging, and then the blush itself, the compact, is housed right inside like that. So everything fits comfortably should you choose to use this packaging. Likely, I'll just toss this into my makeup bag to streamline my efforts. But to show you what the packaging is like on the inside, it does have a protective Marc Jacobs kind of bubble that ultimately gets removed should you wish. And then here is Obsessed, which is a lovely peachy pink, once again with that striation that is typical of this line. And I found that Obsessed was a very wearable color. It's light, and I tend to gravitate towards light blushes. I'm going to try to give you a sense of it by swatching it right below the powder here. It's this right here. And what's really fantastic about this blush is that even though it's of a powder texture, it feels very creamy going on. I'm currently wearing it over a little bit of Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate as a contour, so then the Obsessed is just on the apples of my cheeks. But you can see that it's not overtly shimmery, but once again, it does catch some light, and it's creamy. It doesn't have a powdery finish. So that texture feels very fresh, and it's definitely appreciated in a sea of what can sometimes be chalky powder blushes. So I'd call this a pale peachy pink. Definitely a great shade for somebody who's looking for a very subtle flush. On to the eyes. I did select two pencils. These are called the Highliner Gel Crayons. And there were 6 shades. I selected 2 to start with, but I could not be more impressed with the formula and the longevity of these pencils / crayons. I selected Barococo, which is a taupe brown with slight shimmer, but very creamy at the same time. And I also selected Blacquer, which is a jet black, and it just glides on. Allow me to demonstrate how lasting these are. I'm applying full pressure on my hand, and you're noticing that they're not smearing all over the place. If you let them set even longer, they won't move at all. I'm wearing one of the colors, in this case, very minimal eye makeup today. I'm just wearing Blacquer on my waterline. And that's it. And then some Chanel Le Volume mascara. But you can see one pass creates a very pigmented black effect, and it does not move as the day goes on. On to the lips. So there are a few different lip products in this line, a lip color, which is gel-based, and also a lip gloss. I ended up leaving with 2 lip colors, Moody Margot and Dizzy Spell, which are number 106 and 104 respectively. So this is Moody Margot, and here is Dizzy Spell, and then I'll show you what they look like in the tube. I am wearing both colors on my lips right now, so let's get a close-up. Moody Margot is a pink tinged nude, and these lip colors, the gel formula, here's Moody Margot here, and then here you can see it in the tube, and that's pretty color accurate, what I'm looking at right here. These gel colors are something that requires perhaps a couple passes on the lips. You don't get maximum opacity in one sweep, but they feel very comfortable on the lips, and they do create a creaminess with a couple of passes. Long-term wear time, not remarkable, but because they feel so good going on, I don't mind reapplying more. I've not noted that it contributes to any dryness on my lips. In fact, they feel pretty balanced and hydrated throughout the duration of wear. So that's Moody Margot, and then this is Dizzy Spell, which is a delightfully creamy pale coral. I haven't run into an orange like this that doesn't get super bright or kind of like a hot pink over time. This is very muted. It feels very early 1960s in its tone and appearance, and I like wearing these shades on their own but also mixed together. I find that Dizzy Spell gives Moody Margot a little bit more pigment, and together they work nicely to create a nude look without washing out the face. Then we have the lip gloss. And in this case, I selected number 306, which is Sweet Escape, kind of a nude pink peach. I know, nothing brand new for my collection, but I know that I'll wear it because it's a color that I prefer. So it has kind of a paddled doe foot applicator, and I was really impressed by the opacity of this lip gloss. So I'll put a single pass on my wrist so you can see. This is one pass of Sweet Escape. It is creamy. There is a tiny bit of shimmer, but it's minor because it's really, the dominant texture here is a cream. And when you apply it on the lips, and I'll put a little bit over what I'm currently wearing, applied on the lips, it gives a very slight tingle, but nothing uncomfortable. It is emollient, but not overly slippery, and it's definitely not sticky. Finally, I ended up buying 2 nail polishes, and I will be the first to admit I am not a big nail polish lover. I purposely leave my fingernails unvarnished as much as possible because I find that they grow more quickly, they are stronger and healthier in the long term. I do, however, have a coat of varnish on my toes most of the time, and I prefer nude nail polishes. So I was really having a tough decision between the 2 of these. This is Fluorescent Beige, number 142, and I don't know if the light's going to pick it up as well as I would hope, but Fluorescent Beige is kind of a mauve-y nude, and it also has some pink kind of iridescent micro shimmer, which brings a new dimension to an otherwise kind of putty-ish varnish. So I wish the light could catch it so you could see. Maybe you'll see some right in there right now. You can see that micro shimmer. The other shade I selected is Funny Girl, and certainly the fact that it's nude was the first attraction. The second being that I love the movie Funny Girl with Barbra Streisand playing Fanny Brice. It's just an awesome musical. And so I couldn't help myself. That was kind of the tipping point for me. Here is Funny Girl. It's a peach tinged nude, Beige. And those are the 10 products that I found most alluring in the Marc Jacobs Beauty line. I was really thankful to have had a Sephora 1000 point VIB bonus perk, which was a 20% off coupon. So applying that to my total purchase made the entire experience a little more palatable. And I must say that I was a bit skeptical about what the quality might be in this line. There is already a built-in audience with anything that Marc Jacobs chooses to pursue. So I wondered how remarkable his beauty items would be. And I was very pleasantly surprised to find that the colors were unique. The quality of the products is significant. As time proceeds, certainly I'll have swatches of everything on my blog, as well as more specific and detailed reviews of each item as I have more time to experience. I welcome your questions and comments and would love to hear your thoughts on the Marc Jacobs Beauty line, what kind of experiences you've had with it thus far, or perhaps what you have your eye on. And as always, please don't forget to visit me at my beauty blog, Beauty Professor, which can be found at www.beautyprofessor.net. Take care.